Hello, I did my first excursion on transsexuals, and I chose the documentary Disclosure to learn more about this very brave minority of people and everything they've overcome in terms of obstacles and the achievements they've made in the modern day. It's narrated by Laverne Cox, who's a very inspirational figure to learn more about and very knowledgeable about the different facets of what it means to be transsexual. Um, a lot of it seemed really focused on false representation of transsexuals, and a lot of that is largely due to Hollywood and the media. It's important to note that over 80% of Americans don't even know a single trans person, so with that lack of knowledge about that kind of person, there has to be a reliance on media. And unfortunately, Hollywood has done a very poor job of portraying what it means to be transsexual. Many characters are portrayed as overly violent or psychotic, or just in reaction to that, the other characters in the films are just repulsed and just treat these people with such disrespect and lowliness that they don't even give them any credit as human beings within these films, and that is reinforced in society by other people and how they react to transsexuals. It's interesting to note that one person in the documentary talked about the idea of just she was against disclosure as a transsexual, and that, for a person to go in, there's no reason for a person at all to just state their gender identity to a person to begin with. And when it's too late and somebody finds out that they are an opposite sex from what they thought, then they feel ashamed and upset and bitter at the transsexual person for not telling them right away. But it just has a presupposition of that something's wrong with them intrinsically as a person for being transsexual, and that they have to disclose that for the other person in line to just the majority of society. And it's really a shame for people to be, just to feel like they should feel guilty for not telling somebody else about what they really are. But outside of that note, I was really moved by an instance with Caitlyn Jenner's show about a father talking about how just amazing his son was, and just a unicorn to live with, and just so brave and cool and in tune with himself. And one of the other people on the show commented that she was hurt to see it because she had to deal with, people that were, her mother said that she was dead to her because you killed my son, or you couldn't come home unless you dressed up as a boy for your grandma, or she couldn't meet her own old guy friends' children because she was trans now. And it just ate her up so much, because she had never seen herself like that and seen that kind of loving acceptance from her own parents like she saw in this own father towards his son. And it was very moving to watch, and just goes to show that the modern day parent do have a lot of hope, in that they're going to be more accepting and loving towards their children, making such brave choices with their internal peace of mind to be who they want to be, and to find a lot of deep acceptance in response to that. I think Hollywood also does a very poor job of portraying transsexual people as kind of like street queens or prostitutes. And it's interesting to note that transsexuals have 3 times the rate of unemployment and undergo a lot of discrimination because of that, and can't get job opportunities. But there's also been a number of positive feedback with the community in terms of getting recognition on the main cultural scale of Hollywood right now, with Laverne Cox at the front, and author Sandra Baldwin, who was in Paris is Burning, has finally come out with her own transsexuality. And there's a lot of hope in moving forward, and just to get that kind of representation on the larger scale, and to go past these negative tropes that Hollywood has created over time, really gives a lot of respect to the comportment that these individuals deserve, and that they're finally aligning with who they really are. And I think another interesting thing to note that's expressed is a lot of people, when in interviews on like national television with transsexual people, they're really focused on the operation itself and just the ins and outs of what it is they got and what's it like, but they don't focus on the moving forward component of, you know, their dreams and goals, and them treating them as a human being. And I just thought it was really, you know, pivotal for society not to be so stuck and stagnant with just maybe the oddity of such a choice like that, but to really get on with the sense of considering it odd, and to really just respect it and want to know about the after effect of what these people are going through, and how happy their search for happiness, giving respect to that and affirming their humanity. That's what I gained the most out of this documentary, was that we have to see it. We have to see the humanity in these people, and we have to really respect it, and also, you know, recognize our biases and try to be the best that we can in response to affirm their humanity, while also seeing a better society all in all. They've set the standard right now. They've really have some amazing people in the forefront creating you know, very nuanced approach and look to what it means to be trans. And as a society, we should feel obligated to follow suit and become more educated ourselves, and just become educated with our heart all in all, and just to let them know that they're loved and that we love them, and just as we would with anyone else in the LGBTQ community. It's something that, you know, it's gender identity, then it's sexual orientation. So doesn't have to be as confusing as people make it out to be, but it's certainly something to applaud, and basically we have a lot of good hope looking forward, I believe. And I think as a clinician, I can be better at, I would love to be more informed with gender identity counseling, and finding better ways to let people know that they're worthy and loved and deserving of love in their own lives. And yeah, it was a really amazing documentary. I'm glad to see that Hollywood and culture at large is making a positive change of direction and the positive representation of transsexuals at large. Really enjoyed it.